Welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, 6 weeks ago on the 20th of August, I stupidly tried to predict the biggest transfer for every day of the window. It seems borderline impossible, right? But just maybe there's a sliver of a chance that despite my god-awful track record, I might have actually predicted a few correctly. I realise it's like expecting someone from Blackpool to win a spelling bee, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Let's have a look. August 20th, GABRIEL MAGALHAES to Arsenal, 22 million. Oh yes, what a start. Absolute scenes. One that actually got right. GABRIEL MAGALHAES did move from Lille to Arsenal for £22 million. I mean, it happened a week later than I originally predicted. But forget that, lads, alright? I got this one right. Yes, let's see if I can make it 2 out of 2. 21st, VIDAL to Atalanta for £5 million. Nope. This is just annoying. Vidal, some bang average Kosovan right back. He had already agreed personal terms on a switch from Standard Liège to Atalanta. So how in a pig's swollen testicle did he wind up at Torino instead? Is it just to spite me? Atalanta were in the Champions League. Torino were nearly relegated to Serie B. It's like rejecting Chelsea for Crystal Palace. And I'm pretty sure if Ben Chilwell had done that, he'd probably be submitted for medical testing. 22nd, Edinson Cavani to Benfica, free. Yes, Man United signed good old Edinson Cavani on transfer deadline day. You can almost smell the stale stink of a big name flop. He's 33, past his best, and were it not for Man United, he'd be spending Halloween signing on down the dole. But yeah, I said he'd wind up at Benfica to rot in an old man dustbin beside Jan Vertonghen and Adel Taarabt. But no, they signed 24-year-old Everton Suarez instead, who's actually an ambitious signing. Instead of rifling through the yellow pages for the latest big name struggling to find a job. 23rd, Sergio Aurier to AC Milan, 10 million. I could not have been more wrong. Can you blame me? Jose Mourinho has a lifelong phobia of defenders unable to concentrate. Why do you think he felt like feeding Luke Shaw to a farm out of hungry pigs? But no, I said Aurier would be spat out to the slower standard of Serie A in August. 6 weeks later, no, he's keeping new signing Matt Doherty out of the team and scoring in a 6-1 win at Old Trafford. The only way I could be more wrong about Sergio Aurier is if I also predicted him to undergo a sex change on the flight to Italy. 24th, Sandro Tonali to Inter Milan, 28 million. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm convinced. This is the footballing gods taking a pigeon-sized dump on my face. I was so sure that Sandro Tonali, a 20-year-old, highly rated Italian midfielder, would swap Brescia for Inter Milan in a £30 million deal. But, you know, with the addition of Romelu Lukaku last year, with Antonio Conte at the helm, I was under the illusion they were after ambitious signings. No, instead they're seemingly trying to go for a world record on how many past the Premier League fullbacks they can squeeze into their squad. I mean, I got the city right, I got the stadium right. Well no, Tonali is signing for AC Milan on a season-long loan. 25th, Alexander SORLOTH to RB Leipzig, 10 million. Yes, I've got this one right too. I was about a month out, but still. RB Leipzig have replaced Timo Werner with Alexander SORLOTH, you know, the Crystal Palace flop. He's already smashed home 33 goals in Turkey last season, but this is the same guy who couldn't dislodge an out-of-form Christian Benteke. And this is the guy who bought to replace a Bundesliga goal machine like Werner. 26th, EMERSON PALMEIRI to Inter Milan, 18 million. My mistake, I assumed Emerson Palmieri might have a modicum of ambition left for his career that didn't extend to training with the Chelsea reserves. To be fair, apparently he was close to a switch to Juventus on deadline day. Not Inter Milan though, who chose to bring in Matteo Darmian instead. The Inter Milan directors could have smeared a cottage pie in his mother's face, and still it wouldn't be as big an insult as choosing Darmian over him. 27th, Sergio Reguilon to Napoli, 18 million. No, another one wrong. I said Sergio Reguilon, the highly rated Spanish left back, would trade Real Madrid for Napoli on the 27th of August. Now, 3 weeks later, he signs for Tottenham on a 5-year deal. Although, considering he gets to play under a 3-time Premier League champion, as opposed to the Italian Gimli, this is probably a better career decision. 28th, RAMSDALE to Sheffield United, 18.5 million. Yes, technically I got this one right, but annoyingly, I predicted the 28th of August. His move to Bramall Lane was confirmed about 40 minutes after the video was uploaded. 29th, Thomas Partey to Arsenal, 45 million. Okay, yes, I got the date wrong, but the destination, the price tag, I got that one right too.
Go on, lads!
Although, it would have been perfect if Arsenal got their finger out and signed Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid on the 29th of August instead of waiting until 2 hours before the goddamn deadline. But anyway, he's just become the most expensive Ghanaian footballer of all time. If he's even half the player Michael Essien was, he'll be a damn good midfield signing. 30th, Alessandro Florenzi to Everton, 12 million. And I'm back to getting these wrong. That was a nice little run of predictions I had once. I'm not sure why, but I was so convinced that 29-year-old Roma wing-back Alessandro Florenzi would join Carlo Ancelotti at Everton in a move that would probably cost Seamus Coleman to spend that evening tearing out chunks of his own pubic hair. But no, instead, Florenzi, the Roma bench warmer, approaching his 30th birthday, he winds up at PSG on loan, and he's already banged in a half volley in a 6-1 win over Angers. 31st, Ollie Watkins to Aston Villa, 25 million. Oh lads, do you reckon Callum Wilson watched Ollie Watkins score a first half hat-trick against the champions of England and feel like he might have made a mistake? Sure, he's scoring goals for Newcastle, but his teammates are feeding him about 2 chances a game. This guy rejected Aston Villa, and Watkins had about 6 or 7 chances on the plate for him against Liverpool. Wilson probably spent the night chucking his son's goal DVDs in a bin. Anyway, yes, I got this one mostly right. I was a week out and 3 million short, but yes, Watkins did trade Brentford for Villa Park. Not not bad. September 1st, Kai Havertz to Chelsea, 70 million. Okay, every man, woman and dog on the planet knew this was going to happen. It was just a case of Chelsea getting the deal over the line. To be fair, this is my closest prediction yet. I was only 3 days premature. With the prediction, that is. If we're talking about my birth, then I was 12 weeks. That should probably explain why I'm a YouTuber in my mid-20s. Second, Thiago Alcantara to Liverpool, 23 million. Again, lads, Thiago Alcantara had been linked to Liverpool since June. So again, this one was kind of obvious. It just took Thiago Alcantara 3 weeks longer to sign up at Anfield than I predicted. Third, Michy Batshuayi to Leeds, 20 million. I feel bad for Michy Batshuayi. Listen, I moved to Leeds United, it would have made sense. He's worked with Marcelo Bielsa, and everybody can see that persisting with the human candlestick Patrick Bamford up front all season long. It's like mixing dog food into your birthday cake. It's not going to end well for you. But instead, Batshuayi's been agreed to be loaned out yet again by Chelsea. Another season being barred by Crystal Palace. And so far, he's spending a life on a bench with Martin Kelly. That's no life to live. Fourth, Ainsley Maitland-Niles to Fulham, 15 million. I don't get this. Why would Arsenal agree to transferless Ainsley Maitland-Niles and then continue to play him every game? That's like serving your wife divorce papers and continuing to expect her to make you dinner. It's just such a backwards plan. How has he not been sold to Fulham? Fifth, Donny van de Beek to Barcelona, 40 million. Yeah, I think I might have bought too much into the Dutch connection at Barcelona. I was convinced Ronald Koeman would make Donny van de Beek as big midfield signing from Ajax, reuniting him with Frenkie de Jong. I got the price right. I was only 2 days out with the date, but no, not the club. Instead, it's Man United. And so far, he started nearly every game on the goddamn bench, watching his teammates stagger about like they're on a stag do in Kazakhstan. Sixth, Alexandre Lacazette to Juventus, 25 million. Nope. Since then, Alexandre Lacazette scored 3 goals in 3 Premier League games for Arsenal. And if he didn't get stage fright at Anfield, he'd have even more. I'm not sure why I was so convinced he'd go to Juventus, but I guess that's because I have a brain made of honey nut Cheerios. Seventh, Arturo Vidal to Guangzhou Evergrande, 20 million. Okay, we're not for Inter Milan having a brain dead transfer policy, handing out fat contracts to every big name over 30, then I would be right. Arturo Vidal would be in China. Who else would want him? Did nobody see him falling over his own feet in that 8-2 demolition? Could Antonio Conte not see he's a spent force in European football? But with the transfer fee, I think I underestimated just how much Barcelona wanted rate. I said 20 million. They let him go for less than £1 million. Lads, in modern football, that's like giving him away in a raffle. 8th, Shane Duffy to West Brom, 10 million. Now, by now, the 8th of September, Shane Duffy had already swapped Brighton for Celtic on loan. Christ about. Next, 9th, Ivan Rakitic to PSG, 16 million. And by the 9th of September, Ivan Rakitic had just moved back to Sevilla for a fee of 1.5 million euros. 1.5 million euros? For a guy with over 100 Croatian caps. He's a Champions League winner with over 300 appearances for Barcelona, the club's very own version of Luka Modric, and they let him return to Sevilla for the equivalent of 3 months worth of Danny Drinkwater wages. Lads. 10th, Callum Wilson to Newcastle, 18 million. Arguably the best prediction in the entire list. I said back in the 3rd week of August that Callum Wilson would tie up an £80 million switch from Bournemouth to Newcastle on the 10th of September. Instead, he gets a £20 million move on the 7th of September. Well lads, I'm 3 days and £2 million short. That is pretty damn good. 11th, Max Aarons to Tottenham, 15 million. Now, Tottenham signed Matt Doherty instead. This Max Aarons must wake up every morning and scream into a pillow. This guy was a teenage fullback being linked with Man United last summer, PSG this summer, and now when he's seen the rest of his Norwich defence sold back to the Premier League, he's instead being left behind like that fat kid at an orphanage. 12th, Timo Bakayoko to AC Milan, 20 million. Yeah, silly me for thinking that Chelsea might want to do a recoup some of that 40 million they foolishly paid for Timo Bakayoko in 2017. And instead, they're clearly sentencing him to loan moves for the rest of his fat 5-year deal. I was right to predict this French lump would return to Italy, but no, it was Napoli on loan on deadline day. 13th, Memphis Depay to Barcelona, 36 million. If this had come off, I would have looked at utter genius. But as soon as Ronald Koeman touched down on Barcelona, I just knew he'd want to bring in Memphis Depay, his talisman with the Dutch national team. The guy he's been relying on for 3 goddamn years. It just made sense. They needed to freshen up their aging team. He's clearly too good for French football. He has a relationship with Koeman, and the fact he's spoken about his desire to play in Spain before, and in the end, he agreed a deal with the club. But no, it fell through at the last minute, leaving me to look like an utter gompeen. 14th, Colin Grant to Crystal Palace, 12 million. No, Crystal Palace do not sign Colin Grant from Huddersfield Town. Instead, just dragging in Michy Batshuayi on loan. Next, 15th, Ben Chilwell to Chelsea, 80 million. Well, thankfully, Chelsea didn't spunk 80 million on Ben Chilwell, like I predicted. That just sounds sickening. And he also moved to Stamford Bridge 3 weeks earlier than I predicted. I'm not good at this. 16th, Alfredo Morelos to Lazio, 25 million. No, Alfredo Morelos is still at Rangers. No move to Lazio or Serie A or anyone. Damn it! 17th, Dwight McNeil to Leicester, 30 million. Yep, despite all the hype, Dwight McNeil is still staying at Burnley. 18th, Douglas Luiz to Man City, 25 million. Yeah, this is weird. I can't even remember why I thought Man City would buy back Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa. What? 19th, Todd Cantwell to Liverpool, 20 million. After every transfer window, there's always a few players who feel like punching their agent in the face. Todd Cantwell is one of them. Hey, look at Ben Godfrey, his Norwich teammate, part of a defence which were ripped apart last season, and see him still getting his £20 million switch to Merseyside. Cantwell, who's head and shoulders the best player in that shoddy Norwich team last season. The only one with a bit of class about him. Tip for England squads. And his agent still can't get him a Premier League move off the back of that. Ben Godfrey was part of a back four which conceded 80 goals. So leaving Cantwell to rot in a championship team, what was his agent doing all summer? 20th, Said Benrahma to Tottenham, 15 million. Again, Said Benrahma must also be on the verge of sacking his agent. He's seen his teammate Ollie Watkins ripped out of that Brentford team. But him, an attacking winger, scored 17 goals last season to ensure I had loose bowels for 3 months. No big move. I was convinced Tottenham would snap him up. A good bench option. Instead, they go and get Gareth Bale. 21st, Dayot Upamecano to Bayern Munich, 54 million. To me, this makes sense. Dayot Upamecano ticks all the boxes for a Bayern Munich move. A 21-year-old defender who had already broken into the squad of the current world champions. Starred for RB Leipzig as they reached the Champions League semi-final. And Bayern Munich don't usually allow other German clubs to have nice things for long. So I'm surprised he didn't get that big money move to replace Jerome Boateng. 22nd, Abdoulaye Doucouré to Everton, 30 million. Okay, I was 3 weeks late and 10 million over. But still, Abdoulaye Doucouré wound up swapping Watford for Everton. I'm putting that one down as a win. 23rd, Eberechi Eze to West Ham, 12 million. So I said Eberechi Eze, the talented QPR playmaker, would get his Premier League move across London to West Ham on the 23rd of September. No, instead it's Crystal Palace. Damn it. 24th, Harry Wilson to Leeds, 20 million. Yeah, I think Harry Wilson's career is now circling the toilet drain. After relegation with Bournemouth, nobody was really falling over themselves to rescue him from the Liverpool reserves. Not even Leeds, like I predicted. Last I heard he was linked to the transfer to Celtic, so I guess he's the next Scott Sinclair. 25th, Danny Drinkwater to Middlesbrough, half a slice of pizza. No, not even Middlesbrough wanted Danny Drinkwater. 26th, Moussa Dembele to PSG, 25 million. No, Moussa Dembele did not go to PSG. Stayed at Lyon. I'm bad at this. 27th, Lautaro Martinez to Barcelona, 90 million. Okay, don't blame me. The media have been talking up this move for years. I thought Barca's big rebuild this summer would have given them the perfect opportunity. Whereas how much longer does Lautaro Martinez want to play in a team with Ashley Young? 28th, Jadon Sancho to Man United, 88 million. No, the big transfer saga of the summer, and I got it utterly wrong. Jadon Sancho, you wanted to return to Manchester. Christ, what? You spent transfer deadline day at Tammy Abraham's flat in London. Clearly he wanted the move. But no, United decided to instead chuck £40 million at an 18-year-old from Atlanta who nobody's ever heard of. 29th, Jamal Lascelles to Leeds, 22 million. This is just random as balls. I know Mike Ashley's made some stupid career decisions, but in the middle of a takeover collapse, selling the club captain to Leeds, that would be pretty specialist even for him. 30th, Ousmane Dembele to PSG, 35 million. Ousmane Dembele has been an injury-riddled Barcelona flop, but he came closer to signing for Man United this week than PSG. Another one I got utterly and hopelessly wrong. October 1st, Jack Butland to Chelsea, 8 million. Okay, I think it might be time to officially bury Jack Butland's England career at sea. I was being optimistic for the guy, that he might take advantage of Chelsea's desperation in the goalkeeping department, considering he's been linked with Chelsea many times before. But no, at 27, he's about to spend a third consecutive season in the Championship. Poor Jack Butland. Second, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic to Real Madrid, 20 million. No, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, the highly rated 25-year-old Serbian midfielder, did not get that move to Madrid. Third, Milian Skriniar to Man City, 60 million. No, in the end, Man City signed Ruben Diaz instead. Fourth, Wilfried Zaha to Borussia Dortmund, 35 million. No, Wilfried Zaha is going to turn 28 and remain a Crystal Palace player. I almost feel sad for the guy. Fifth, Joelinton to Crawley Town, 3 Freddos and a hug. To be fair, Crawley Town were probably scared off when they saw Joelinton struggle to score unchallenged from 12 yards against League 2 standard goalkeepers. Christ above. Anyway, that's the end of the... another one where I got a lot of them wrong. But let me know. Tell me, do you think I got some of the... why do I even predict? That's it, lads. Enjoy the video, like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.